Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? My name is Julio G. Cintron. Welcome to the Sea of Thieves inspired Ship and Salsa podcast, where we talk about the gaming culture, personal growth, and Sea of Thieves. A lot of it. We have interviewed in the past streamers like Hitbo TC. We have interviewed streamers like Big Frankie 22. And today I have the pleasure, nay, the privilege to be able to introduce and interview one of the happiest, most positive pirates out there that I have seen IRL or in game, Happy Kraken. The whole purpose of this podcast, I'll explain what I'm doing. I have created my own community of pirates in a Discord, and I realized there is a lot of people trying to get a very good foothold on content creation. There are steps for this, and there is no better contribution or way of helping these people out by learning a little bit of the perspectives of the leading people in the content creation field for Sea of Thieves. So in other words, they made it. Partners that are people that are partners in Sea of Thieves, they definitely made it. And I hope that you guys can appreciate the little pirate Facebook that I have created or am slowly getting into. With that being said, I know there's a lot of people in the Happy Kraken community that just came in. Welcome. My name is Julio G. Cintron, and my alias is Olive Nebula on Twitch. If you guys actually come across me on the seas, please say hi. I am trying to help other people become streamers, and like as much as I can. I'm trying to help people become Pirate Legend. I'm trying to help people get the better levels, get the hourglass stuff. Just help people. It's just fun. It's what I like to do the most. But I also like to meet people in the seas, right? So without further ado, let me just go ahead and make sure that it works. Hey, Happy.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited. I was literally I'm sat here in the background just smiling to myself because I'm so excited.
Yeah. How was the Polia stream today?
Oh, it was so fun. I caught my rare fish, so I'm
Nice.
very
The shadow
extra happy
stonefish?
Kraken. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
I do admit, I did fail to clarify for everybody. They are going to be able to ask you a few questions right at the end. I think we already mentioned it. In the software that I mentioned that I'm using, I found a little chat button. So we will be able to address all questions of everybody that's interested in knowing Happy Kraken, the leader of your community, to in a deeper level. In a deeper level. If you guys want to go ahead and think about the questions, we will have a section at the end. And Happy, welcome in. Before we even start, I want to let you know this is a very chill conversation. We want to just try to get to know you as much as possible. You just ended a stream. Do you need a snack or something of the sort? Water.
No, I have my water. I literally before stream cooked like a massive HelloFresh, so I'm good to go.
Okay. I'm glad. And there is a few people that I've already introduced as Olive Nebula, or the community of Olive Nebula. For them, can you please introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, and the amazing pirate that you are?
I'm Happy Kraken X, or Kraken as a lot of people call me, or Happy. Either is fine. I never get called X, so that's one I'm waiting on someday. But yeah, I usually stream Sea of Thieves. Although recently I've been doing a bit more variety, so more Palia, and then maybe even some Phasmophobia since it's Halloween. So we will see. But yeah, I'm from the UK. I've just turned 26, and I've been a content creator for I think just under 3 years. So
under 3 years? Oh,
something like that. Yeah, I think January it'll be 3 years.
Oh, happy content creator birthday. That's great. Well, welcome. I want to really let you know that I appreciate the time that you spend here. I appreciate all the answers. Just the fact that you're giving us a little bit of time helps out a lot. And so one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you, there are things that I know that can help people out as far as content creation and IRL and in real life, because streaming and gaming is not easy when you invest hours and then all of a sudden you realize at the 7-hour mark, I am dead. I have not eaten. I have not drank water. How do I keep up the energy? How can I do this? How do I pull everything off? What's my niche? All that type of stuff is really hard on a person. And I wanted to ask you, what initially drew you to streaming? What was the part that really inspired you to be able to help you be the person that you are?
So it's well, it's funny actually because I never ever thought that I would be a streamer.
Okay.
I mentioned it's like, coming up 3 years, I think.
Okay.
If we minus 3 years, it was actually like the beginning of COVID,
Yeah.
as all of us sadly remember.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like I'd always wanted a gaming PC, and I remember like COVID was happening, we were beginning
Mhm.
lockdown, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, if I'm gonna be at home, I'm gonna get a gaming PC, and I always
Yeah.
wanted to like, play Sea of Thieves on a PC. I don't know why, because I always played on Xbox. That's how
Me
originally
too.
I started on the Seas. Yeah, it's funny because I look back now, I'm like, how did I ever play on 30 FPS? But I didn't notice it back then. But yeah, so I got a gaming PC, and then I think it was just one of my friends who I used to play with, and he just said, he was like, you know what, you should really just stream. Like you're so funny when we sail together, because
Mhm.
I can't help it. I crack bad jokes, and I'm always doing something goofy. I can't help it. but but yeah, so I thought, oh heck it, what's the worst that can happen? And I literally I hit that go live button, and
Yeah.
I remember I just slowly and surely, like every time I streamed, there was just more and more people who would come in, and everyone was just so nice,
Yeah.
and I wasn't expecting that. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't think everyone would come in and start being horrible to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, just and especially the Sea of Thieves community, like everyone was so lovely, and
Yeah.
it was so nice to meet, like-minded people who love gaming, and you just sort of end up building a community. Like the more you
Yeah.
stream, the more people you meet, the more you create a community, and it's addicting. It really
It
is,
is, and that's actually why one of the aspects of this podcast is human relationships,
Yeah,
because of the fact that like I created a community where I have my own group of friends as well, and
yeah,
it's amazing how this little social experiment that's called Sea of Thieves have made so many friends. If you think about it, we
I
all approach
know.
ourselves in the same and with
Yeah,
the same feel. This guy is going to steal my treasure. They're going to sink me.
yeah,
They're not good for me. Go away. And it's
yeah,
amazing how, regardless of that, the experiences, even in a PvP nature, you get to
yeah,
meet a lot of people. You get to meet a lot of friends. There's a lot of networking. There's a lot of bonds. And so I realized, at the beginning, when I tried to actually battle toxicity with a few concepts,
yeah,
I realized that the human relationships are very important to talk about.
yeah.
Very
I
important to
feel
talk
that.
about. In all honesty, just boundaries and stuff like that is just really important to clarify in my opinion. So initially, what drew you to streaming, then I can say that is the people, in a sense. After you
Yeah, and
started it off,
yeah, it was literally
okay,
just the community. And I just, still to this day, like community will always be number one to me. I always want everyone to feel welcome. I
yeah,
love that everyone is different. Not everyone has the same interests, the same ideas
yeah,
as me. And it's so nice to just, because everyone from around the world can just tune into the stream if they want. And it blows
yeah,
my mind, I mean, everyone's just from all over, and I'm just
yeah,
here in the UK, and now suddenly I know people from America and
yeah.
Australia, and it's just like, whoa. So I love it.
Even different cultures, right? Wow. Yeah. Now that I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
about it, yeah, that's so cool. So now that you've reached a point where you're actually a content creator in Sea of Thieves, you're one of the leading ones. I think it's fair to say.
Oh.
So have you've enjoyed your job? That's something that
Oh
you
my
have been
God.
doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's a very
Absolutely.
different type of job. You know what I mean? Like not nobody
Yeah.
usually, not nobody, but a lot of people actually don't get used to hearing that a person is a content creator. It's yeah,
Yeah, and I still think to this day, like sometimes when I mention it, say I'm meeting someone for the first time, and
yeah,
like not from the gaming world, IRL and stuff, or I
yeah,
don't know, like a family member, they're like, "Hey, so
yeah,
so what do you do now for work?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, this is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to be really interested and think I'm the coolest person in the world, or they're going to be like, so like, do you just not do a real job then?" Like it's still so not like not accepted, but not
yeah,
understood,
yeah,
I think a lot of people think that streaming is just picking a game, going live, and doing nothing else, but they don't see all of the other stuff, that
yeah.
comes
That
with
goes
being a
into it.
content creator. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is something that I've definitely also been trying to get used to. But it's amazing
Yeah.
that you've gone as far as you have. I congratulate you because I
Thank
like
you.
as I started the community, my own community, I see that there's a lot of people that are trying to follow your footsteps. So
Yeah.
it goes to show that although people are not used to this, people are not used to that type of profession, at least hearing about it, they do. There's a lot of community. There's a lot of people that really do want
Yeah.
to follow in your footsteps. So now that I know that your favorite job so far has been content creation,
Yes.
what is your least favorite job? For example, I know that my least favorite job was actually a debt collector.
Really? Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
no, definitely. I
I
used to
can
work in a program
imagine.
where, yeah, I called a whole bunch of people, and there is absolutely no way
Yeah.
that you can call somebody and tell them like, "Hey, you owe $1,000,"
Yeah.
and
But
they
please
would
be nice
go,
to me,
yeah,
you
then
know?
they would go, yeah. Oh well, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'll pay it back immediately. There's no way. There was
Yeah.
out of
It
300
never
people, not
goes
one.
like that.
So
Yeah.
it was my least favorite job in the world, most definitely. So for you, have you ever had another job in the past where you're just happy that you finally transitioned from it?
So it's kind of weird because I've never had like a proper 9 to 5, like full
Yeah.
time job. Like even after I left university and got my degree, it was very much like I had a part time job in a bar. I work night
Hmm.
shifts with victims of abuse alongside the police, and then I also was a research assistant at a
Oh wow.
university. So it
Okay.
was like I've always kind of I don't know. I've always had like different sort of part-time
Environments,
jobs. Do you
kind
know
of.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think and the thing is I loved all of them. Like all three of them jobs I really, really loved. But I
Okay.
think I think the worst job I've had, and even then it wasn't that bad. But when I was about like 14 or 15,
Hmm.
I think it was my best friend's parent or some relative owned this cafe, and they
Hmm.
really needed someone to work on the Saturdays and Sundays just for 4 hours making bacon and sausage sandwiches. And
Yeah.
like it was amazing. Like I did, because you got free bacon at the
Yeah.
end of the day. But like the worst part was like every time I came home, my parents would just be like, "You smell of bacon."
You
Like my clothes would just constantly smell of bacon, and like if say you had to go somewhere straight after work, it's not fun being like, it's nice when people are like, "Ooh, you smell nice," but not in
yeah.
you'd think it was your perfume, not because of the bacon. So and, like, it's not that bad. But yeah, probably that was the worst because I just
I
always have to take a shower.
Yeah, I can totally relate. I had two jobs where everybody knew where I would work just because of the
Yeah.
smell. One of them was Starbucks coffee because
Ooh,
like
yeah.
espresso all day and the whole thing. And
I
then the
feel like
other
that's a
one,
good smell
oh
though.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
smell. I straight up got addicted to coffee. They give
Yeah.
you three free coffees a day,
I
like
always
anything.
wonder that. Like, do you
Yeah,
get,
anything.
do you get free drinks?
Oh yeah,
That's
and
good.
then you would get a weekly like a bag of ground coffee to take to your house as well. My
Ooh,
mom
that's
absolutely
nice.
loved that I was working there.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, and then the other one was Subway. I don't know why. You would just
I like
you would just.
Subway.
Oh yeah, Subway was I would absolutely love Subway, but I would be
Yeah.
10 feet away from the sandwiches at the beginning when I was actually learning the job, and then when
Yeah.
I would go home, I would straight up smell like sandwiches. Everybody knew that I've started my job. There was
I
no
know.
hiding it.
I
Yeah,
feel if you work in a job like that, you have to be okay with smelling from that job. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like if you work in a restaurant, you're gonna smell of food.
Yeah,
It's
thank
one of
God
them things.
nowadays the virtual side, like although we deal with a lot of food like pineapples, mangoes,
Yeah.
coconuts.
Yeah, we don't smell of
Yeah.
PCs and keyboards and stuff, do we? Thankfully. Unless you don't clean it, in which case you probably should. If your PC smells,
Most
that's not a good
definitely.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that there's a lot of people that probably have like the problem with the Dorito bags, the little
Oh,
Pringle,
yeah.
the Pringle cans, like the little sodas
I
on the
feel
side.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't blame them. I was one of them. I'm
We've
not.
we've
I'm
all
not.
been there. We have all been there.
And I gotta ask, what single? Okay, so this is a lot for the streamers or the people that are trying to strive to be one,
Yeah.
right? For the content creators. So what single piece of advice would you give future streamers? So I know that there's usually a turning point or something that really hits you hard that
Yeah.
makes you say, wow, maybe because of this, or maybe because of the culmination of this thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing.
Yeah.
But what can you remember was a turning point for you when it
I
comes to
think,
streaming?
yeah, I think with me it's like I mentioned earlier, like community was always such a big focus of it. But
Mhm.
I think just knowing what you want to set out to do, like having a clear mindset, like if you want to be the most double gunning PvP lord on Sea of Thieves, like like you've got to commit to that. You know what I mean? For me, it was
Yeah.
more of like my goal was always to make anyone who comes to the stream feel welcome. I want to make everyone feel safe and
Yeah.
welcome here, and just create a really, really nice safe space, essentially.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was always like really important to me, and I think like that's what I hear a lot whenever people come by and they've been around like since the start. They always say like, God, I keep coming back because you always make me feel so welcome. So
There you go. Okay.
yeah,
Which is,
I think that was
I gotta admit, Happy, you are so positive. It's incredibly, and I know for a fact everybody listening to this probably agrees. You have a very refreshing personality. Respectfully,
oh that's so
yeah,
nice.
you really are Happy, which we already talked about yesterday. Happy, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's okay to share.
Oh,
Well,
you
I
can, of
hope it is,
course.
but
Yeah,
the
of
Happy,
course.
you are called Happy, and your
Yeah.
family, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's literally where my gamer tag or alias or whatever you call it came from. The Kraken part does come from Sea of Thieves because I
Yeah.
love the Kraken in the game, but
Yeah.
yeah, the happy part definitely comes from IRL. When I was growing up, I was like my parents just said I was always
Yeah.
smiling, so they just called me
Yeah.
happy.
That's
So
great.
yeah.
I always kind of assumed that the X part was just for X marks the spot, kind of.
Kind
Am I
of.
wrong?
No, you're not. I mean, I didn't really know why I put the X at the end. Like when I
Yeah.
was making it, it just didn't go. Like Happy Kraken just didn't. I don't know.
There
It
was
didn't
something at
seem
the
to
end that
go.
was missing.
I felt like I needed like three parts to it, like Happy Kraken something, and I was
Well,
like,
X marks the
I'll just
spot,
shove
like
an
for
X.
sure. You the pirate all the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And then it just worked. So, but yeah, I do think it's good as like X marks the spot. So
Nice.
we'll go with that.
Well, I gotta say, congratulations on breaking the boundaries as a streamer.
Thank you.
You have reached partner, which I feel is like the last step for you to be able to really consider this a career. So
Yeah.
I gotta really congratulate you. Props where it's due. A lot of respect for you.
Thank you so
And
much.
I know that although you stream a lot of different video games,
Yeah.
it is a Sea of Thieves inspired podcast. So I wanted to see if we could
Mhm.
talk SOT a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
So I know that we already shared that SOT, and I feel that a lot of us probably feel that way. Is like the reason why you have fun is not necessarily because you're a pirate, but because of the
Mhm.
experiences that you have in the seas, regardless of
Yeah.
what they are. I know there's some bad ones, but there's also some good ones, and that little
Mhm.
adrenaline type of thing. It really is just great.
Yeah.
It's great for a video game. It's an open world. It's fantastic for a lot of people. Why Sea of Thieves though? Why did you pick the pirate game?
I just had not ever found a game where every time I played it, it was something different. Like all the games I played before, like it was, Fortnite or Rocket League or
Yeah.
The Sims, and they're amazing games and I loved them. But it was like, what you were getting into. Like you load up Fortnite, you're gonna like it's a first person shooter. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
with Sea of Thieves, it was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna set
Yeah.
sail and maybe I'll just have like galleons coming after me and flinging
Yeah.
chain shots all night, or maybe we do Glitterbeard. I know someone just mentioned
Yeah.
that in the chat. Like you never know what's going to happen, and it was just something that keeps pulling me back and back. And
Yeah.
also I just thought it was a really good game to stream because whether you're doing voyages or fights or PvP or anything, like there's always downtime when you're sailing
Yeah.
between island to island. And that's really good because then you can talk to your chat in the meantime, or
Yeah.
so it was just such a nice balance, and it really, really fit in well with streaming.
Yeah.
Like whereas I have streamed Fortnite in the past, but it's so fast paced that someone might be typing something in the chat but you have to focus because then if you read that, then you're going to die in the game, and then no one wants to watch you because you're just dying all the time. So it's like, it was just such a nice balance on Sea of Thieves.
I have to admit, I just got addicted to Fortnite. A few people in the
Yeah.
Discord, I haven't played Fortnite at all. It was a month and a half ago
Yeah.
that I got introduced to that video game. And the fact
It is
that
fun.
I could be Batman riding a motorbike with
Yeah.
Deadpool and then just like,
And like
just
Darth
ride
Vader
into
on
battle.
the side. Yeah.
I would never think that I would put all those awesome things in the same picture when it
I
comes to a
know.
video game. It was intense, and so I honestly just got addicted to Fortnite. I have to be careful with the amount of skins and uniforms and little people
Yeah.
that you can buy in the video game.
Yeah. They know how to make you spend them
The
V-Bucks.
micro,
They-
the micro
Yeah.
spending goes crazy, especially in the Sea of, also especially in Fortnite, but also a little bit in the Sea of Thieves. If you don't
Yeah.
have gold.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, okay, so Sea of Thieves is a pirate game, right?
Yeah.
So this is a question where most definitely I answer it to a degree of honesty. But have you ever, as a pirate, right? We try to be as immersive as possible.
Yes,
So have you
of
ever
course.
actually stolen something in IRL? For me, for example, I remember, just so that you know an example so we don't go too far, but I remember
Yeah.
that I had a best friend, right?
Yeah.
And this was in college. And he had the movie Die Hard twice. I don't know why he had it twice, but I know that we
Right.
watched a movie, and then I really wanted that movie in my house. Like
Yeah.
Netflix, I think wasn't a thing yet.
Oh yeah.
It was long ago. And so I took it, and he didn't know about it. And
I'm sure he would have wanted you to, as a friend, he would want you to have that.
There's a reason why I should not have done this at all. So I took the second Die Hard. When I got home, I
Yeah.
realized it was a blank disc. It had no cover, it had no nothing. And then I got a call 2 days later, and he was just screaming at me like, "Where are you?" And I
no.
didn't know what to answer. I didn't know what it was about. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm over here. I'm at my job.
I'm
he's like,
definitely
"Did
not
you
at
take-"
home with your disc, not me.
He told me, "Do you have my Die Hard DVD?" I'm like, wow, like, what are you doing? Like, aren't you at your work? Why in the world would you want that? But yes, I do have the Die Hard. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I wanted it. And he's like, I'm 15 minutes away from my class. My group project is inside of that disc. I have a
no.
presentation in it. And he was 15 minutes away from that class, and
Oh
he
my
had the whole
God.
presentation on that disc. I think he failed it. I'm pretty sure he did. He's still my friend, but thank
Well,
God.
that's good. That's like kind of it's like the excuse, isn't it? Like imagine that. Oh, like it's usually the dog ate my homework, but now it's my best friend stole my Die Hard.
my best
DVD.
friend stole my Die Hard.
Oh my God. That's
So have you ever had a story, like a small story, like as far as pirate goes? Have you ever stolen anything, like in
Well-
IRL? Not big, but
I literally love this question because it brought back so much nostalgia because I remember this so well. So I would be a terrible pirate, just to put that out there. Like, I'm good on the seas, but IRL not so much. But
Okay.
I personally haven't. But I guess you could say I was like, what's it called when you're not the one who does it, but you're there. Is it like a? Do you know what I mean? Not like
yes,
an alliance.
not a
like,
witness, a accomplice.
what's the word?
An
Yeah,
accomplice.
I
Okay,
was
there
an
you go.
accomplice to a crime. But no, I was literally like maybe 9 or 10 years old, and me and my friend we used to walk home from school together, and we'd always go to the sweet shop. And I remember
Okay.
they would have these sweets that were like, I don't know, like 2p, which is like, what's that in American money? Like what's like it's like no value. Is it like a nickel?
Like a penny would be
A-
the
a
one that we
penny.
actually use for a wish.
Yeah,
I would say.
something like that. Literally, it's got like no value at all. It's like and they used to sell like individual sweets. Literally just like, I mean, I have some here, just like little Haribo's or
Yeah.
things like that, and they would literally be like a penny. And I remember like I got mine, and I came out the shop, and then she came out, and she was like, "Ooh, I like don't tell anyone, but I just took an extra like fried egg from that, and she was like, "I didn't pay for it." I was like, "What?" Like, I was, like, with her, so I started freaking out because 'cause I'm like, "They might have CCTV." I'm, like, crying because I think I'm gonna go to jail over this fried egg that she stole, and I remember I felt so bad that I went, like, looking round my house for, like a penny, and I went
Uh-huh.
back to the shop later on that day, and I just, like, told them, I was like, "I'm so sorry, but my friend stole a fried egg, and I feel so bad, so here's the penny." And the shopkeeper was just like, "Honestly, it's fine, like, you know, it's not a big deal." But yeah, so I would be a very bad pirate, but I was once an
It's
accomplice to the crime.
oh yeah.
That's about as badass as I get. It doesn't go further than that.
Yeah, I gotta say, definitely convenient to not be a good pirate nowadays, so it's totally
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the pirate experience for me as well. I gotta say, I'm not a good pirate nowadays at all,
yeah,
from my sense. Because every time I try to find somebody, I literally have a whole channel dedicated on giving treasure for pirates in Sea of Thieves. So
yeah.
it's like definitely wouldn't do it right. And now that we talk about Sea of Thieves, I also want to ask season 10. So I know that
Yeah.
everything's already been put out there as far as opinions, perspectives, and things like that, or at least for the most part, right? But I wanted to see if you had an opinion that maybe you haven't shared. I know that today there was a video that came out today from the creators
Yeah.
of Sea of Thieves that had to do with the double gunning and the whole
Double
switching from one to the other,
gunning. I think anti-cheat as well
anti
was
cheat as
mentioned. Yeah.
well. So, do you have anything that you would add to SOT? Anything that you think that would be good or bad in the upcoming seasons, or any sort of like future that you have theorized with in SOT? Do you have like a
Like
lot?
to add to the game, something to
Yeah,
add?
yeah,
I think something I've always said that I would love to see added to the game. Like, I know right now it's limited to just Sea of Thieves partners, but I would love everyone to have custom servers. I think that would
custom
be so
servers.
good.
Yeah,
You know, like there's so many amazing events and like people in the community that have these like ideas and they always have to rely on a partner to be around to give them the server or it's just
yeah,
like it's such a useful tool and I know a lot of games give custom servers to like everyone who plays it
yeah,
and seeing the amazing things that come from that in other games, like to me it's like why would we not give everyone it, like
yeah,
I know it was amazing when I first became a partner and it was like, yay, I got custom servers. But,
yeah,
I remember before I was a partner and how hard it was to, try and get recordings if I wanted to make a music video or something. It was so hard. So I would love to see everyone get custom servers. I think that would
yeah.
be so cool.
Yeah, custom servers. I have a
Yeah.
few ideas. I have a whole SOT Olympics thing for if we ever get
Yeah.
like a custom servers. I have games and all that stuff, but I totally agree. There's so many people that can treat it, kind of approach the sandbox in a really creative way. In
Yeah.
all honesty, so I totally agree with that. And season 10, like as far as like the new adventure, the whole drama with the sea of with the open
Safer
seas, the
seas.
safer seas,
Safer seas. Yeah.
the whole drama with that. Do you think that it will actually be a positive thing, season 10 for
I
SOT?
mean, at first when I heard it, like I won't lie, I was a bit like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like like they're bringing PvE servers, but the more I looked into it and I realized, the reasons why they're doing it and how much
Hmm.
stuff is still going to be exclusive to the higher seas, like I do think it's a good thing, and if it helps people do the tall tales without getting sunk, because I never understood that. I mean, I love PvP, but when
Yeah.
you're doing a tall tale, you want to be immersed in the storyline, don't you? And Sea of Thieves really does have amazing tall tales. I love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Um, so
Including the Monkey Island one, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do need to do the last two, so don't tell anyone. But I did the first one of Monkey Island and that was amazing.
Nice.
But yeah, like you want to just fully be immersed in the storyline rather than having to watch your back or, oh, I did this tall tale, but someone sunk me and they stole my quest item and now I can't turn it in and
Yeah.
that. It's like, so I do think it'll be a really good addition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's actually a good thing. I totally agree. I think that the phrase or words that I would consistently try to use for the new
Yeah.
season would be a tutorial for the sandbox.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like it's going to be a good thing regardless of the fears. I think that people maybe just fear a particular concept that
Hmm.
could come, but it's not that. So it's like everybody's dramatizing it,
Exactly. I
honestly.
think everyone always, like no one likes change, do they? Always kind of, because you don't really know what it's going to be until it comes into the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's always like, "Ooh, I don't know," but we have to trust in the
Yeah.
people who actually make the game and stuff.
Hmm.
So that they listen to all of the community. They see everything. They know the stats. Like they know more about game developing than I do. So even if
Yeah.
I have anxiety about changes that are coming, I should trust in the devs that they know what they're
That
doing.
they,
And
yeah.
yeah,
There you go. Okay, I like that because a lot of people don't give credit, and my perspective, but a lot of people don't give credit to the actual efforts.
yeah.
But yeah, they are working hard at it. I could see how it can become
Oh, of
really
course,
complicated
yeah.
for them. Um, and speaking of the sandbox and the things that might change, I actually wanted to know, Happy, you've had a lot of time in the sandbox. You've had a lot of time in Sea
Yes.
of Thieves.
Yeah.
And I know that Hourglass only became a thing season 9, but you've been playing since what season
Since,
particular?
like, even before seasons were added, that's how
Oh yeah.
long.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's been a lot of time there.
8 months after it released, I started playing, so almost 5 years, I think
5
now,
years.
which is
So I
crazy.
there has to be a top 3 adventures that you've gotten into in Sea of Thieves. There has to be. I know for a fact that whenever somebody says like, "Wow, that was wild," and you particularly go to back to like the past and your Sea of Thieves experience,
Yeah.
like, do you have any wild stories in the Sea of Thieves as far as a steal, meeting somebody, something of the sort that you
Yeah,
would like
like,
to share?
this was, like, really hard to think about because I feel like at this point, I have so many memories that
Yeah.
I've made in the game, so it is hard to narrow it down, but, I think I always remember the grind to Pirate Legend
Hmm.
and the feeling of seeing your levels slowly go up and up because this is
Yeah.
before we had emissaries, so,
Yeah.
it would literally trickle up, like, bit by bit on your levels and stuff,
Yeah.
but I remember, like, when I was getting close to Pirate Legend, it was in the middle of the night, and I'd set sail on my Xbox and I'd
Yeah.
just do the world events. And I remember I was soloing this world event and this massive galleon just started coming for me, and I was just like, "Oh God, here we
Yeah.
go! Like I'm about to get sunk here." Um, and I remember like they just started talking to me, and they turned out to be such nice people, and
Yeah.
they asked what I was doing. I said, I'm trying to grind to Pirate Legend. And we allianced up and they literally helped me all night long. Like from about 9 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. in the morning, we just
Oh
like
wow.
went
Yeah. A
round and did
big
all these.
grind.
Yeah, and we did all these voyages together and stuff. And it was just so nice. And they actually ended up becoming really good friends of mine. And we continued
Nice.
to not only play Sea of Thieves, but other games as well. So I always remember that because it was just I remember being so scared about getting sunk, but then
Hmm.
they ended up being so nice and just I have such happy memories of becoming a pirate legend.
Yeah.
So that was so sweet.
That's great. And that's honestly, that type of experience is what gets you to stay. So I feel that a
Yeah.
lot of people nowadays, especially the newer players,
Oh my God.
whenever
Yeah.
they decide, there's like a key moment where they decide, okay, this is the game for me.
Yeah.
Those are the type of moments that really make you decide, like, okay, I'm going to play a lot of Sea of Thieves, or I'm going to play a lot of Fortnite and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's the people, isn't it?
It's the
It's the
people for
people you
sure.
meet.
And in my case, I think the moment that I actually decided to play Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
I got kidnapped. But not for I got kidnapped. Like
I
as a
shouldn't
pirate.
laugh. That's not nice, is it? I got kidnapped. you know, be a wholesome person.
Totally kidnapped. I think I was doing for the
Yeah.
first time an Ashen Winds or something of the
Yeah.
sort. It was one of those. And then I went back to my ship and I started putting up the anchor. As soon as I ended that little process,
Yeah.
5 people came out from the bottom of my sloop My solo sloop, 5 people came out. They were all playing instruments.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like 2 brigs, I think a brig and a galleon came out from the corner, and they all said, like, you are coming with us. And then
no questions asked.
No questions asked. I at that point had no complaints. I was a brand new player, so all I could say is like, well, I know I'm gonna die, so let's go. And then we went to Plunder Valley and we did the Glitter Beard. I had no idea what that was.
No way.
No idea what that was. And as soon as I experienced that, and I even heard a little bit of the backstory, I realized just how much hidden little things, inspirational, beautiful things there are in Sea of Thieves, regardless of the cheaters. I just want to say that for some other people, regardless of the cheaters, regardless of the things that could go wrong, the hit wreck, the glitching, all that stuff. I understand that that's annoying for more experienced pirates, but the people that end up experiencing Sea of Thieves for the first time, that is wonderful. That made my whole day. I straight up I got emotional.
Yeah, that's such a good first experience. That makes me so happy that was the first time.
And
like, that's so sweet.
And experiencing things like that, even if the video game just at the moment becomes something that brings happiness to your life, pun intended, happy.
I see that.
So that's worth it. The video game was awesome. It was successful. It did what it had to do. It entertained you, it inspired you, and eventually people, like, get used to it and all that, and that's where other perspectives come from. But
it's like what you say, isn't it? Like, as much as there's bad things that can happen and the cheaters or the hit reg and all of this, it's like ultimately, like, for me at least, I always have more good memories than bad memories from the game. There's always more positives and negatives, and it's like with life in general. It's so easy to just focus on the 1 or 2 negatives that happen when, you know what I mean. Say I go live and I stream Sea of Thieves and I come across a cheater or like someone toxic, but I have to think, well, that's one thing, but I have all these other good things. Like, I'm probably sailing with one of my close friends. We're having fun. I've got the community. Like, there's so many more good things than bad. And you just got to remember that.
True. That's totally true. And one of the worst experiences I've had in Sea of Thieves, though, which I was able to overcome. I have this concept stream, right? And Sea of Thieves, we all know about rowboats. Most of us, there's rowboats in Sea of Thieves. As soon as you get to the rowboat, I realized I could survive off a rowboat. I dedicated an entire stream to not dying and surviving. That's so fun. Off a rowboat. I got lonely, and what happened was I got a cage and I adopted a little chicken, and I called it Cluck Norris. And I remember a little pig that I adopted later. I called it Ham Solo.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Something that I really committed to was keeping Ham Solo and Cluck Norris alive. And it did not happen. Sadly.
Oh no.
Yeah, my poor pets passed away, and I gotta ask, what have you killed the most? What have you killed the most? Chickens, pigs, snakes, or toxic players? I was just curious.
I probably think toxic players, because I mean, players? I can't kill snakes. I mean, I'm marrying one, I'm marrying serpents that end, like, so that's just off limits. And then, I would probably say more toxic players than anything. Yeah.
God bless you, Happy.
Yes. I'm doing it for the people.
There you go. That is amazing. And I love the fact that you got your gold curse, because most of the people see the gold curse, and for the people that don't have it or are not of the PvP community, that there's something in the brain that switches on that says, I better not be toxic. I gotta be honest.
It is nice. It was such a grind to get, but maybe I'd put that up there as well with, like one of the top 3 adventures, maybe getting the curse, because it was such a journey. I mean, it was 3-4 months of dedication and trying your best, and I've never worked so hard before, like, for something in a game. I've never been so committed to it, because that's a lot. 1,000 levels, like.
And I don't think so. As far as the PvP community, I don't think that anybody's reached like a cap, have they?
I think the cap is 9,999, but I don't think
Oh my
anyone's
God.
got that yet. I think DB is gonna try and get that. He's crazy. I don't know how he
Yeah.
does it.
No, yeah, no, I'm passing that on to my kids. Like I'm already
Yeah,
training
yeah,
him
just
for
pass
to
it
be a pirate.
down.
Like
Yeah.
he'll get the first 500, I'll get the other.
Oh, of course, yeah, easy. But yeah, no, there's been so many good things, and all the events that have happened too that have, led me to meet all these people that are now in my life.
Yeah.
Like it was all through Sea of Thieves. I mean, there was the Gauntlet that was I think that was a Sea of Thieves official event. I
Yeah.
think I've been on many events now, like my brain just, I can't remember. But I met Sotus and Serpents
Sodas. Yeah,
through the
serpents.
Gauntlet, like, and Psyker as well. Like I feel like I got close to them three through that event in particular, and Sotus and Psyker are my best friends now.
Oh
And
wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, and obviously we all know about Serp. I mean, I'm literally marrying the love of my life that
Wow,
I
that's
met through this
amazing.
game. Like, it's
And I
just
gotta say
crazy.
that's one of the reasons. Like, don't ever underestimate the bonds and relationships that
Yeah,
you might have in your life. I say to the chat, because you
yeah,
never know. People can actually uplift you and help you without being present. Granted,
yeah,
like I have some best friends, right? Right now, I
yeah,
like one of them I only knew as a gamer tag Goofy Sushi for the longest time. For the longest time.
yeah,
And I met him in real life. I met him in real
yeah.
life. He knows my wife, he knows my child at this point. And you know what's really weird? My stepson and me cannot call him by his real name.
It
The
feels weird,
gamer
doesn't it?
tag is their real
Yeah.
name.
No, I totally get that. I do. Like, I had the same thing with Puff. Hello, it's Puff. I sail with
Yeah,
her on
yeah,
on Mondays. I mean, she's literally one of my best friends now, and like, we started sailing together around this time last year.
yeah.
And it was so weird, like, to see her at Sea of Thieves Fest, and like, she knows my name and I know her name, but it just feels weird. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
it
It's like,
does.
no, like you're Puff. I don't know you as anything else. And same to her. Like, she just, despite knowing me and my life and everything, like, she will just still call me Kraken. But
Yeah,
it's like, it's weird, isn't it? Because you get to know them as that gamer tag. So when you meet them IRL and you get to know the IRL side, it's like, oh, what do I
yeah.
call them now? It's like being Hannah Montana. It's like, do you call them Hannah or do you call them Miley? I don't know.
It's crazy how that happens, but it's
Yeah.
totally true for anybody out there in the chat. Like, if you
Mhm.
meet somebody, any sort of friend or anybody that you've actually met in the Sea of Thieves or any sort of video game,
Yeah.
we will not be able to call them by the first name, regardless of knowing it. You will be ending like I call Goofy Sushi Sushi. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of our friendship, he's Sushi. Is crazy, and for the for the SOT part, right? The Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves part. I have one last question I would actually like to ask you, and this is a question I've asked. I've asked Hitpo, I've asked Big Frankie, and I really like to end with it. As far as the
Yeah.
SOT part, if you could be remembered for one thing as a pirate, what would
Yeah.
it be? Because you know that Blackbeard is like he has a black beard, so he's remembered by the Blackbeard and him being savage and all that stuff. He has a reputation. Hitbo, I know that has his own reputation. Big Frankie has his own reputation. So what if Happy Kraken, Captain Happy, would be remembered as one thing? What would she be remembered as? What would it be?
Oh my God, that's quite hard. I would probably go with being the girl who muted Flameheart, you know,
Who
because
muted Flameheart?
yeah, I wrote the song and then it happened, and now everyone blames me for it. Because they obviously introduced the Flameheart event and it was amazing. I really,
Yeah,
really liked it, but like, he just wouldn't shut up. He just every few seconds, oh, your supplies must be dwindling by now. And I'm like,
that
my
is so
gosh, just
true.
give it a rest. And like, at this point, everyone felt it in the community. It was just a meme, that
Yeah,
he was so loud and he would always like just. It's nice to have the characters in the game communicate with you, but like here and there, not like 24/7 when you're just trying to hit your shots, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember, and everyone was asking me, like, can you please write a song about this? Like, something needs to be done. So I was like, okay, I will do that. And I did. I wrote Mute Flame Heart, made a video, everything, got the community involved. And it's how I got the Be More Pirate hat, actually, the funny blue hat.
Yeah.
It's actually how I got that. But yeah, and I did that, and then they removed the entire event.
Yeah.
So it kind of backfired because it was like, no, hang on, we just wanted him to stop
We just-
talking. We still want the loot though. Like it
They
was
took
really
it out.
good
They
loot.
just flat out took out the whole thing.
They did, and it was so funny because the official Sea of Thieves YouTube channel actually commented on my music video on YouTube with
Yeah.
just no. That's all he said. They just said no. Oh, it was funny.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
yeah, I feel like that's my legacy, you know?
Yeah, that actually like banishing Flameheart
Yeah, I
from Sea of
banished him.
Thieves. That is epic. I did not know that. I gotta admit. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much, because I was a part of those. I was getting really tired of all this stuff, all the
He
trash
just
that
wouldn't
Flameheart was
stop,
talking.
you know?
He wouldn't
So
stop.
much trash talk.
Yeah, for anybody that started after a particular season, Flameheart, his head was actually floating. That was a world event. He would float
Floating
like
head.
above an island, and a whole bunch of ships. Basically, the
Yeah.
Ghost Fleet nowadays, a whole bunch of ships would go around, and he would just talk to you trash all day, like all the Ashen Lords do. But he was a big
Yeah.
head, and he had a megaphone. He just basically
he
made the
was-
server know
Yeah.
that he was very annoying and he didn't like
Very
you.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Even when you
Yeah.
weren't even doing the event, you could be doing a tall tale on the island next to it, and he
Yeah.
would still yell
would
at you.
still-
He'd still trash talk you. He didn't care.
Yeah, he secretly was lonely, but nobody's
I
ever
think
going to say
so.
that. Yeah, he was just
I
trying
think
to.
he was,
Yeah,
you
he was
know.
tempting you because he wanted your attention. But
That's what it comes down to. Maybe he just needed a hug. That's what it comes down to, you know?
so let's talk happy. I know that you have a huge community, all right? You have a huge community,
Yeah.
especially in your Discord, especially on everywhere, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, they follow you. And so for them, I want to ask, is there any funny stories, IRL, that you would like to share that your community does not know? So like, for example, in my case, I know that my community does know about this, but I had a funny
Yeah.
story where I would take the same exit in a highway. At least I took it about 6 times because as soon as Pokemon Go came out, there was a Kadabra that I wanted to catch.
Oh,
And
right.
It was right on the exit, and
Yeah.
I actually took that exit 6 times. I double backed. I took
You
that
were
exit
dedicated.
6 times to get that Pokemon. And
Yeah.
I remember I got it. Granted, I should not have done that. Do not play that game while you're driving. But whenever it came out, I shamefully say that I did that. So any
Yeah.
funny story that you would know that your community does not know that you could think about?
Well, I do have one, and it kind of is a stream story, but it was so early on in the beginning that I feel like no one at this point knows about it. Maybe
Yeah.
like 1% of the community, but I did think it would be a good one to share because it's, you know, it feeds into why there's certain things in our
Yeah.
community, why we have certain emotes and stuff. But and it was funny. I rewatched. It's like you know, you can highlight stuff on Twitch. You can clip it, and it'll stay there forever. I
Yeah.
actually rewatched it today just for nostalgia and
Uh-huh.
stuff. But it's so funny. But I remember it was maybe my 3rd ever stream that I ever did, and
Yeah.
and I was back at my parents' house. I was living at home. And I was playing Sea of Thieves, and I was trying to grind out the commendations.
Mhm.
And there was one in particular that I was trying to get, Legend of the Sea of Thieves, I think it's called. And
Yeah.
you have to sink 500 skeleton ships, you know, just like the ones that are just chilling. You have to
Yeah.
sink 500 of those. And I remember I went live and I was talking to everyone, and I was like, hey guys, I think I'm going to work on this commendation. I need to sink 500, and I was at 443.
Oh,
And
almost there.
yeah, so I was like, yeah, I realized I'm only like 7 skeleton ships away from getting this achievement.
Yeah.
And I kept on saying how close I was to it, and I was stocking up and I was so excited. I was like, yeah, and we can end stream today by finally reaching the 500 skeleton ships, because I'm only at 443. That's only 7 away. And then everyone started to type 57 in my chat, and I remember I was like, because I was trying to read all the messages and stuff, and I was like replying to something, and I was like laughing. I was like, 57. Yeah, I know what you mean. And then I was like, wait, like, do I know what you mean? Because like everyone started typing 57, and I didn't understand why. Because obviously,
yeah.
I was actually 57 skeleton ships away,
Uh-huh.
but in my head, I think I thought it was like, as soon as it got to 450, I don't know why, like my brain just didn't register. But I remember like everyone was typing 57, and I was like, no, you guys are wrong. I'm only 7 skeleton ships away. Like, I'm so close to it. And we went back and forth
Committed.
and back and forth. Yeah. Because I was so sure that I was right. Like, it was so funny. And like, literally my chat was just filled with 57s, and I didn't understand why everyone was typing 57.
Just caps lock, exclamation mark,
Literally.
all that stuff.
And then I finally realized, I finally clicked on, I was like, oh, I'm not 7 ships away. Actually, 500 take away 443 is 57, isn't it? And what makes it worse is the previous conversation that I had right before this was about how maths was my favorite subject in school, and I was really good at it. And I got this award for being in the top 1% in the UK, which is actually a true story.
Nice.
Evidently, I don't hold that record anymore, because I don't know what 500 take away 443 is. But it was just so funny though, because I was just talking about how good I was at maths, and then I can't even do a basic equation. So now we have a 57 emote, and it's been there ever since. It's a 3-year-old story, but it's just
no wonder. I think I believe I saw it, and I did not understand. Okay, so now your Discord, hopefully the people that
now
are in chat
knows,
if you guys see a 57 in the chat, it will be nostalgic. She will know what it means.
But the mods never let me forget about it either. And it's funny because I think I'm at like 55 or 56k followers at the moment, and everyone is just so excited for the day that I reach 57k. It's like, I've never been like, oh god, I just don't want to reach that, because then everyone's just gonna make fun of me.
It's just gonna jump to 58. It's like, nope.
I'll just follow bot myself. Oops, we skipped 57. We're at 58. Let's go.
Oh, that's so funny. And I gotta ask, Happy, during every single one of your stories, during all the experiences you have with your followers, with in Sea of Thieves, with the PvPers, with everybody that you know, I think one of the best things that we can all enjoy as far as the followers is your positivity. How do you do it? Is it coffee? Is it monster drinks? It's so refreshing, and I know that it's a type of energy that you really, unless it's innate, unless it's yours, it's really hard to keep it up. So I gotta ask: is it innate? Is it something that you work on as far as the energy levels, or is it just who you are?
I think it's a bit of both, because my dad is literally the happiest person on the planet. Like, I've never seen him. I mean, everyone gets bad days, but like, he is just like so happy all of the time. Yeah. And so was like my nana, like his mother as well. So part of me thinks like, I wonder if there's just a happy gene that got passed down. But I do think it's like, it's the way she raised him, and it's the way he raised me. Like, he brought me up to always, always appreciate the good things in life, no matter how big or small. Like, I put a candle in the bathroom the other day, and it made my whole day, like it's the little things.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
Well, I congratulate you. That I know for a fact that positivity spreads.
Thank you.
Throughout not just your community, but the Sea of Thieves and many other communities as well.
Yeah.
So it was passed on. I congratulate you, really.
I do think it's something you can kind of learn to get better with, because you know, tough times happen, but
They do.
I remember someone told me before, and it wasn't my dad, it was someone else, I can't remember, but it always stuck with me. And they said, you know, like it's kind of like if you're a ship or a boat, like you're only going to sink if you let the water get inside. So you
Yeah.
could have all this negativity surrounding you, but like unless you let it get inside your brain, like
Yeah.
you're always gonna you're gonna stay afloat, you know.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if you always remember, like, you've gotten through every single challenge or hardship that you've ever faced, like we're still standing, we're still here right now, you know. We've
Yeah.
gotten through every
Blessed.
single tough time that life has thrown at us.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I do
Yeah.
think we're stronger than we realize, and there's always good things coming, you know?
Yeah.
There's always better days coming.
Good
So
job.
I always
Honestly,
try to
I
think
gotta
that.
much props, much props. And speaking of being happy, speaking of being positive, it is based on emotion, right? Most of the
Yeah.
time, and you keep it up quite well. But I gotta ask, if you had the chance to remove one emotion from the world forever, in the Sea of Thieves or in real life, it's actually
Yeah.
IRL because this is a section for happy, more than Captain Happy,
It
for
fits
happy.
into everything, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
this, yeah.
it really does. So I wanted to know, like, do you have any opinion on what one emotion would you remove if you had the chance to do that from the
This
world?
is this is really hard, and I was, yeah, I was thinking about it a lot, and you know, at first I was like, maybe like anger or something like that, but then I was like, no, because everyone, you know, deserves the right to feel angry sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and it's weird because every single emotion, whether it's positive or negative, like it serves a purpose. It's how we, you know, it's how we grow as people, it's how
Hmm.
we process things
Yeah.
and learn, and even like especially about other people too. But I don't know, maybe, and then I was like, okay, maybe hate, you know,
Hate.
because it's different to anger. Like, you know, you can be angry and frustrated, and all of those emotions are valid, and everyone should feel them, and you know, get used to
Hmm.
them at some point. Like, that's just basic emotions. But like, I feel like hate is
Hate.
just such an extreme, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's quite literally the opposite, I believe.
And
Hate.
I don't think it, like, anything good comes from it, you know? That's the
Yeah.
one that was, like, the only one that I thought, "Yeah, no, I don't think anything ever comes,
Do
like,
you
good
think
from that," you
do you
know?
think that emotions might work kind of like, as an analogy, more or less like an ecosystem? Like without hate there wouldn't be love, like without
That's true, actually. I didn't think of that, because yeah, because that's why, because initially, you know, you were like, "Oh, what emotions should we take away?" And I'm like initially I'm like, oh, everything negative, but then I'm like, wait, no, because that is how we grow, and it's, you wouldn't appreciate the good times if you
yeah.
didn't have bad times,
Yeah,
you know, like they do
for
serve the
sure.
purpose in a way. And you can't, like, well, yeah, just you need to go through the bad stuff and the bad feelings, because then if life was just perfect all of the time, it would just be boring, wouldn't it? Like, you'd never know any different.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
don't
And
know,
I
it's weird.
it is quite a complicated question because I thought about it myself, and I know the chat you're gonna have a like a chance to answer at the end, but I know people really also, I believe, my perspective, kind
Yeah.
of use it with a lack of meaning. Because, for example, I would say, like, I hate that my Door Dasher misses my door every single time. He does not drop
Yeah,
the food off at my door, regardless of the instruction switching, or my Amazon
yeah,
package or stuff like that. And I say, oh
yeah,
man,
I
I
feel
hate
that.
that. But
But
at the end
it's
of the
like,
day,
you know, it's a
it,
mild inconvenience. Do we
it's a
really hate
mild
it, you
inconvenience.
know?
If you think about it, if you even think about it,
Yeah,
the fact that I have to go from my front door and walk all the way to wherever it is, it
yeah,
makes me want the food more, and I'll enjoy it and love it
yeah,
better. Like, you never know. That type of thing, that type of mentality helps you kind of keep track and be stable So maybe hate,
Oh, it
to a
does.
sense, kind of
Yeah,
makes you realize that you love stuff even harder, or like just because sometimes you hate
that's so
stuff.
true.
I don't know. It's a
That
very
is so
deep
true.
question, but it definitely is so that people could think, and maybe if you guys could remove one emotion from the world, what would it be? And so I know that I had a question to ask you about your upcoming events or projects, but I kind of feel like this guides us to the very last questions first.
Yeah.
Um, is there a mantra, a philosophy, a religion, etc., something for your Discord community to know that guides you in your
Oh,
life, either
I have,
IRL
I got
or
a
Sea of
mango
Thieves?
who wants to say
Oh,
hi.
you got Mango. It's okay. You already told me about Mango.
I did pre-warn you last night. I said there's just no stopping this cat. He just, if he wants to be here, he will just, you
That's
know.
true.
I think he just wants to say hi.
Oh, it's totally. It is October, so black cats are my
It
favorite
is.
for
It's
sure.
black cat season. um, yeah, no, I really like that question, and whenever I get asked it, it always makes me happy because it
Yeah.
means I get to pass on something that was taught to me from a young age as well. And again, it goes back to my dad. I always talk
Yeah.
about him so much, but ever since I was born, he always said to me, he always said, "Feel the fear, but do it anyway." And it
Feel the
means
fear, but
like
do it anyway. Nice.
things might be scary, like, yeah, you might feel anxious, like, I don't know, it could be anything, like a roller coaster. I think it probably was a roller coaster when he first told me that.
Yeah.
Probably, but yeah, and it's just like you feel scared or anxious or anything, like if you're taking a leap of faith or putting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone, like it's scary, but it's gonna help you grow so much and you learn
Yeah.
so much from it. Like you're only gonna doing experiences in life, you're only gonna gain knowledge from it, whether it's good or bad. It
Yeah.
could, like, you might go on that roller coaster and you realize you absolutely hate it, but then you have that knowledge now. Like
Yeah.
you gain stuff from it. So yeah,
Yeah.
he uh,
No.
he always he always said that to me, and I use it in everything I do. Whether it's quitting my job and going full-time streaming, which I was terrified to do, but I
Which
thought,
is very deep in the lives of the people, because like I feel that a lot of the streamers that in
yeah,
Sea of Thieves that really try, that are not there yet, the people that are not affiliate yet,
yeah,
especially the people that are affiliate that have been trying to break that boundary for a long time, it really
mhm,
takes some sort of life philosophy. It really takes some sort of like view of life to be able to give you that big push for you to
yeah.
continue that little battle. And so, is it fair to say that your dad has given you like a view of like courage is something that you can use towards anything in your life, and that's what keeps you going, and that would be like your mantra,
Yeah,
let's say.
I would say so, because even with like, even to this day, I mean, a month ago, I was still just a Sea of Thieves streamer. I'd never
Yeah,
touched another game, and
yeah,
when you're not a built-up variety streamer, it is terrifying when
yeah.
you're known for one game and all of a sudden you want to start streaming
You,
a different
yeah,
one. And
yeah,
until you've actually done that and
mhm,
experienced it, it's very hard to empathize with. But
yeah,
but trust me, it's terrifying.
yeah.
And
I can imagine.
yeah, but I have to listen to him, and I have to continue to do that, because then I would never grow and I would have never streamed Palia and I wouldn't have met the people I have within the last month. And
Yeah,
like you've got to take the chances in life rather
yeah.
than sitting back and doing it, like just staying in the safe bit. I don't
In
know
the
how to
safe
put it.
space.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
taking the
Yeah.
step in.
Yeah, take
Nice.
that leap of faith. You gotta, whether it's streaming a new game or trying out something you've never done before, like it's all so essential for growth.
Yeah, shooting out of the cannon, all that stuff.
Exactly. Shoot out of that cannon, yeah.
Well,
Sometimes you gotta
that's
be the
amazing.
cannonball in
You
life.
got to
Be
be
the
the cannonball.
cannonball. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I appreciate you, and that's the reason. That's one of the big reasons why I actually do this podcast, is so
Yeah.
that your community, like the people that are in your community, I'm sure love you so much, and everybody supports each other, and we like it, there is like a net of people that start supporting each other. And
Yeah.
so if we kind of like share our mantras, spit like individually as a content creators, share our life view, our philosophy, our whatever it is, religion,
Yeah.
spirituality, whatever, just a belief, a mantra, we can definitely make a difference. we can definitely make a difference, especially in the people
Oh
that
yeah.
try to reach out and try to be a part of a community because of their own personal IRL problems.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that very much, and I'm going to definitely make sure to share that and spread it around so that people can know Happy Kraken.
Oh,
Does
of
that make
course.
sense?
And it's one of them things, isn't it? You never know who needs to hear them words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so finally, the very last question that I wanted to make,
Yeah.
we've already spoken about this. I was going to ask you, do you have any upcoming projects, events, or initiatives that you would like to share? I know that you told me about a YouTube page, which is right here. For anybody that in the community from Discord doesn't know, Happy has a YouTube page other than Happy Kraken. She actually made a page called Theme Park Truths.
Yeah.
Okay. And with your permission, Happy, I'll go ahead and put the page right here.
Yeah, of course.
So there you go, guys. This is Theme Park Truths. Okay, for anybody that doesn't know, Happy is working on this page. You already created the page. So from the Happy community and the Olive community, please go to YouTube. Please subscribe. Please help her actually develop
Thank
this.
you.
And I wanted to ask, why theme parks? Why that particular subject is a very specific one.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I just always really loved roller coasters. I don't know why. I love the feeling of, it's kind of like Sea of Thieves. You never know what's going to happen, and I feel like it's
Yeah.
the same with roller coasters too. Like
Mhm.
you're perfectly safe, but you still feel like ooh, it's like the adrenaline and stuff. But no, I really love all of the mechanics behind it. I think it's amazing what can be created, and I love to see how roller coasters have developed over time. It's something that really fascinates me, and
Yeah.
I've always just kept it as a passion, as a hobby. I've never really done anything with it. It was just something I enjoyed. But I'd end my stream and then I'd
Yeah.
go watch roller coaster videos and stuff like that.
Nice.
But yeah, I'd never done anything with it in terms of content. And then it was one of them things. I was sat there in July and I was talking to Serp, my fiance, and we both just said like we feel like there's something missing,
Yeah.
like within content creation. Like there was just something that's missing, and I wanted something that I was so passionate about, and
Yeah.
to be able to do that again. And then for him it was Star Wars, and I told him to
Nice.
go do his Star Wars channel, and I mean he loves it now, and it's
Yeah.
great. I'm so proud. But for me it was like, why don't I just do roller coasters? It's something
Nice.
I enjoy, I'm very passionate about, and yeah, I just love it. So
There you go.
yeah, that's what it is. And it's everything roller coasters, like news. I did just finally get permission to record on the rides. I have like a GoPro that I use
Nice.
when I'm on them. And yeah, so I did just upload a video like of the front row POV from that roller coaster. But I just love it. I have so much fun with it, and it's like my little baby at the moment. So
Nice.
yeah.
That is awesome, Happy. And I'm so happy that you found like that particular thing that makes you have a hobby, that particular very
Yeah,
specific
thank
thing that
you.
makes you have a hobby that just brings happiness to you as you do to so many other people, especially in the Sea of Thieves community. Right. And I gotta say, this has been amazing. Absolutely amazing meeting you,
I
Happy.
loved it.
And we are going to see the chat. I am gonna look at the chat right now. Let me see if there's people that can actually ask questions. If any one of you would like to ask a few questions to Happy, now is the time. And the reason why we do this is because I feel that as we know our leading content creator inside of our communities, the bond is strengthened. You guys can actually know how it all goes. You guys can know what Happy is specifically doing, what her worldview is. So if you guys have any questions, for sure, let me know. I'm going to look at them right now. Talk to the mirror. So Happy, more than anything, thank you so much for being here, by the way. You're absolutely amazing. Your time is, I know,
I've loved it.
Yeah, especially since you've been streaming Palia for so long. Like
I still have so much energy. That's the thing. Like I'm I don't know.
You still have a lot of energy. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. That's actually Yeah, that's something that I definitely have to work on. As soon as I finish a stream,
Yeah.
it does not end up the same way.
I think it depends. Like it depends on what you do, doesn't it? Like I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna end this and then I'll switch all the PCs off and I'll probably just have a crash or something, just be like,
Yeah.
whoo. But yeah.
Okay, so I have one. How do you feel about the wonderful party boat set?
Oh, and Sea of Thieves, I think it's great. I love it. I really do. I'm all for it. I feel like we needed before it was in the game.
Uh-huh.
We had ship sets that were like completely purple or completely like black and green and stuff, but there was never like, you know what I mean? Like if you're going on a sail and you just want to celebrate and have fun, I felt like there
Yeah.
was no go-to ship set for that, but now there is, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And oh my god, if I'm ever doing a celebration stream, I always whack it on. You have
Yeah.
to. I love it.
What about let me see. I know that I have another one right here. So I guess, are you a fan of sushi? And if so, if you could create a roll, what would you put in it? And what would you name it? If not a fan of
Ooh.
sushi, what is a favorite food of yours?
Okay, so I am very, very uncultured and I have not tried a lot of foods. And I've actually never tried sushi before. It's on my bucket list. I really want
Yeah.
to. But yeah, I don't feel like the UK specializes in that. So I would like to go to, a country where like you know what I mean? Where it's,
Yeah.
you're gonna get like really good sushi.
Yeah.
So I've
So kind
never
of like
tried it.
quality. So like if it's sushi,
Yeah.
it's definitely from the place sushi comes from. I think it's
Yeah.
from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. I might
Yeah,
be a
wait,
little
yeah,
bit
it is.
off, but
I
here,
think
but
you're right. I think you're right. So I've
hopefully.
never tried it, so I wouldn't know what to put in it. I think there's rice. I don't
Uh
know. I honestly don't know. But my favorite food is fajitas. I love them. They're so good.
Fajitas?
Yeah,
Oh my god! I'm
the
actually
best.
my wife is of the Mexican culture, so we're actually really. I
Yeah.
think I might have just sounded really wrong. Fajitas are from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Mexican
They
food.
are
I love
okay.
it. Like
So yeah.
fajitas, quesadillas,
Oh yeah.
burritos. Oh my
I'm
God.
going there actually soon, so I'm
You
so
are?
excited. Yeah, that's why I'm working out like at least 6 times a day, so I can just gain all that weight back in Christmas.
Oh, yeah, of course. I love that. No, it's
Uh,
literally it's on my bucket list. Go to Mexico and have fajitas. Like that's literally been on there since I was about 10 years old when I had my first fajita.
I see another one that is silly or serious ship names that you might have. So, do you have like a particular ship name? Because we all know that like captain ship, right? So, if you could name
Yeah.
your ship, what are the names of the ships that you already know you have now,
So,
and what
yeah.
would you have in the future? Because we're gonna enter guilds, so we are gonna
Yeah,
have
that's
like
true. That is true.
ships to dedicate to each other. So, what names would you come up? Just top
Yeah.
three.
My sloop is called Inky because of the
Inky.
Kraken,
Yeah.
Krakening. And I love that. I think it's so cute. I think it's such a happy name. Like you zoom in and you see the ship and it says Inky, and I feel like you instantly know I can have a good laugh with that person over there.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then my other one is called the Zesty Lemon.
Okay. The zesty lemon.
Yeah, the
Okay.
zesty lemon, and that just dates back to when me and Serp would sail together, and we'd always have fun and laugh, but we'd like joke at each other, and he might
Yeah.
say something, and I'd be like, "Ooh, you're a zesty lemon today," and he'd be like, "No, you're a zesty lemon," and it would just go back. So yeah, so those are my two ship names, but I really like. I've never been good at them, but I do love the serious ship names.
The
When you
serious
zoom in and
ones?
you see like a really good one. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there
Yeah.
has been some where I zoom in and I'm like, wow, that's cool. Like that's really good.
The
I
Black
just
Pearl. No,
I
I'm
mean,
kidding. I'm
we've all
kidding.
seen that before. But yeah, no, I like the serious names, but for me, I'm a joker, so the silly
That,
stuff comes natural.
and that's something that I actually been playing around with because like my latest ship is called Olive's
Yeah.
Food Truck.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and what
I
I
love
do
that.
is I go ahead and do the Fort of the Dam, and I park my car or the ship right
Yeah.
next to it. I start fishing for Battle Guild, and I make sure to have like protein
Yeah.
for the pirates that inevitably we'll
That
be
that
there
will come
eventually.
by. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what I do is I just start fine dining pirates, and
I love it. I
there
actually
is in
love that.
chat right now a few friends of mine, Kelzoon, Sushi, Julian. I have a galleon called A Pirate's Bite for Me, and we straight up made a
That's
restaurant.
so good.
We collected stools. We sat everybody down.
Oh my
We
god.
had the palm tree cannons. We put some fireballs on them,
Yeah.
just put them up, and it was like a whole restaurant. And we went to Fort of
Oh my
Fortune,
god.
and Julian, one of my friends, we were fine dining the pirates that just completed it. Absolute sweats from what I remember. And the Julian was actually stealing their chest of fortune while they were
Oh
being
my
fine
gosh.
dined.
Oh wow. So this, this is one of
This
them
works.
businesses where you know what I mean? There's something going on in the background there. Like
This worked. I straight up closed
the
shop as
shady
soon as I knew that he
restaurant.
had it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. The kitchen's closed now, guys. You can't order anymore. Chop chop, go home.
Yeah.
We've got your payment. No need to pay us. We've
Yeah.
already got what we.
This is all charity.
I love that. That's so funny.
Well, Happy, I gotta admit, this is probably where we're gonna wrap up right now.
Yeah.
I will, if you don't mind sticking around, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up and give you a more like individualized, like one-on-one thank you. And let me just talk to everybody real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Thank you so much for having me, though. I've loved this, and I really, really value what you're doing. I think you've got such a good setup. I love what it's about, and I can't wait to see more future interviews.
I appreciate you. Yeah,
course.
hopefully, I'm gonna try to just interview the Pirates of Sea of Thieves as they come. And
that.
as I mentioned before, I'm really just here to help out everybody. I know how hard it can be for a lot of people that are trying the streaming path.
Yeah.
To break those boundaries and to follow the footsteps of what are the leading content creators as yourself. And I got to say, it's that valuable. The information you've given us is that valuable. And it really just comes down to giving us a piece of like who you are, which is great. We absolutely love you. And the Olive community, oh my God, we absolutely love you. You're amazing. We absolutely love you. And thank you so much for your time. But I'll definitely give you a more proper thank you in a second. I'll go ahead and wrap up with everybody, and I'll see you in just 10 seconds.
Yeah, much love, everyone.
Okay, everybody. So as I mentioned before, my name is Julio G. Centron. I hope that every single one of you enjoyed the interview with Happy Kraken. If you out there are a Sea of Thieves streamer, please make sure to reach out on Twitch for Olive Nebula. I am going around collecting as many people or pirates as possible so that we can create a community that supports each other in all experiments, projects, thievery, and glory out there as we can, like there is. So much love, everybody. I'll see you on the next time. If you guys want to watch this again, I'll definitely do a rerun or a pre-recording on Friday. We'll go live. So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific. Y'all are incredible, amazing, spectacular, fantastic people. And I'll see you on the next one. Olive out. Bye, guys.